Alright, back to doing some more Beast Wars, guys. Today we're taking a look at Transformers Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Scarem. Scarem here is, like I said, part of the Transmetal 2 line, so they had the regular Beast Wars guys, and then they did the Transmetal guys, where they kind of flipped up the script, and they made the robot modes more organic, and the alt modes were more mechanical, and then they also had a third mechanical like vehicle type mode, and then they switched to Transmetal 2s, which do not have the third vehicle mode but are just kind of like weird mutiny meshes between robotic and organic. They have pretty like asymmetrical alt modes and a lot of really cool design stuff. I think this is when Aaron Archer got on board, and I feel like the Transmetal 2s get a bit of flack. I like the Transmetal 2s a lot. Like, they're definitely like weird, unorthodox designs, but some of them I think turned out pretty well, like Scarem here. Scarem here turns into a Scarab, which is some pretty good wordplay there, because he turns into a Scarab, but he also scares them, because he's an evil Predacon. But yeah, it's a really good bug mode, and I like that it can actually, stand on all six of its legs, and there's even like a bit of leg posability there. These front legs are just on a hinge, so they can rotate out like that. The middle legs are on a ball joint here, and then a hinge halfway up the leg. And then the back legs here are on a ball joint way up at the top here, and then also a ball joint here in the middle. And then these pincers are also on ball joints. You can get them to rotate a little bit, but they don't like securely tab in or anything. So if you just like rotate it without holding it down, then it'll do that. But yeah, he's got a bit of chrome wear, but otherwise, he's held up pretty well. To transform this guy, you take the two back legs and you straighten out the middle one, and then there's this peg here tabs in to that peg hole right there. And then you kind of straighten it out and bring it down, and those will make his robot mode legs. You can do that on both sides here. Then for the pincers up here, you rotate them out like this, and they'll take the front legs with them, and then take just the section here and rotate it like that. I generally don't just grab it from here and do that, because this ball joint is actually pretty tight, so I kind of like make sure that I'm holding both pieces at the ball joint connection, so I'm not just like yanking this off the ball joint or bending any of this plastic. And then you take this section here and untab it, but before bringing it all the way down, like halfway through, you have to take these side sections and rotate them up like that. And then you can bring this down the rest of the way and it'll click into place. And then you just rotate the waist around. If you want, you can take this section here and kind of like fold it up to spread out a little bit like that, and it's a little bit less visible from robot mode. But you don't have to do that. You can just leave it like that as like a regular butt flap, but I think it looks a little bit better with it splayed out like that. But there you have Scarem in his robot mode. And he's a pretty cool looking guy. I like all the asymmetry on the face sculpt here. It's kind of hard to see with the sorry about that. Kind of hard to see with the huge ridiculous shoulder pads getting in the way. Like, this guy has no peripheral vision at all. Just like line of sight just like goes right in there. But yeah, he's a pretty cool little guy. If you take this chest section here and fold it down, that reveals his Predacon symbol there, the crystal, which is pretty cool. It's a nice place for it, and it doesn't really interfere at all with the robot mode or the beast mode, so it's just nice additional feature. Articulation wise, you can adjust these however you want. The arms on the shoulder are in ball joints, and they're at ball joints at the elbow. You don't really get any more of a bend because they're attached like this. So you can like bend them in like this, and you can rotate them, but you can't really like bend the elbow any more than that 90 degrees that it's already at, or any less for that matter. And then because of the way this is attached, you can actually like get his arms to have like a bit of a butterfly joint going forward, and it doesn't look too bad. Like, it disconnects a little bit, but it's not terrible. He's got a nice waist swivel, and then ball joints here at the hips. And then the knee, he doesn't really have any knee articulation unless you untab these. And then in that case, you can kind of like adjust the angle of it. It doesn't like look terribly well, but if you want his leg to like sit a little bit shorter, it basically acts the same way as a knee bend, and as of right now, the ball joints are stiff enough that it can handle that. But and then it also, because the feet are like aligned in a different way, it kind of adjusts the angle of the foot sort of too. So it's not useless. It's a little bit weird, but if you're willing to work with it, you can definitely get some, good poses out of him doing that. Like you can see, it's like, yeah, it basically approximates, the overall effect of having his knees bend, even though it doesn't like totally look like it. But yeah, I don't know. He's one of the basic guys, so I don't really mind the somewhat limited articulation, and at least he's got something that you can kind of get some good expressiveness out of him. Oh, and then the head also can swivel. It's on a ball joint, so it can also like look up a little bit, but really, the swivel is the main thing there. But yeah, I like him a lot. He's, I think, one of the better Transmetal 2s. But yeah, there we have the review for Transformers Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Scarem.